Hello everybody. Welcome to the newest episode of my power ranking series. Today I will be ranking the mid laners and attempting to definitively rank how well they will perform in the upcoming split. So, much like with the other episodes, this is going to be a points-based ranking system where I will attempt to rank each position on the various factors that go into individual performance. I've scaled the final totals by 9/10 and routed them to the nearest 0.25 to balance the scores with those of the top laners, which will also balance the scores with the junglers. So now for the factors that will be going into my ranking, much like previously, I have a floor and ceiling, which is how well the player matches up versus other players at their position, assuming unknowns like meta, growth, and attitude go poorly or well, and then a base score, which is just the aggregate of the floor and ceiling. For large factors, I have style fit, which is how well the player's ideal style, that being resource and focus level, allow them to succeed within the ideal style of their team, and versatility, which is how well the player is able to play various styles of champion and play various roles within a team. Now for the medium factors, I have carry ability, which is how well the player is able to lead his team to victory despite other areas of the game falling apart, and roaming, which is how well the player is able to generate advantages through endeavors and other lanes. Now for the small factors, I just have jungle synergy, which is how well the player can work with their jungler to better their individual performance. So let's get into the rankings, folks, and coming in at 10, we have Damonte with a score of 2.25. So Damonte's top 3 champions in 2018 were Rise at 6 wins, 7 losses with a 3.81 KDA, Zoe at 5 wins, 3 losses with a 5.00 KDA, and Cassiopeia at 6 wins and 0 losses with a 9.80 KDA. So, the supportive style mid laner, Damonte prefers to play mages, but can play everything decently. So he can play a wide variety of things, but is much stronger on mages than anything else. His supportive style should mesh well with Clutch Gaming's strong carry side laners in Huni and Piglet. I can't see Lyra being too much of a boost to Damonte's game though, and with a somewhat existent language culture barrier, their lack of synergy could hurt Damonte's roaming ability. Damonte is not a carry player at all, and he plays best on lower damage champions. However, I did add 0.25 points, as Damonte is a steadily improving player, and some of his weaknesses should get covered up with more experience. As a fun fact for Damonte, he has the lowest damage per minute of any mid laner in North America last summer at 406. So I decided to give Damonte the lowest floor and lowest ceiling for a base score of 1. I gave him a style fit of 1.5, versatility of 0.5, carry ability of -1, roaming of 0.5, jungle synergy of -0.25 with a bonus of 0.25, which brought his total to 2.25. Now coming in at 9th place, we have Pobelter, all the way up at 5 points. His top 3 champions were Rise with 7 wins, 6 losses, and a 2.96 KDA. Azir with 7 wins, 4 losses, and a 4.94 KDA. Malzahar with 8 wins, 1 loss, and a 4.05 KDA. So Pobelter is also a more supportive style mid laner. He prefers to play mages and supportive mids, but can play most champions if need be. He should fit decently in FlyQuest, but I don't really see any other members of FlyQuest facilitating a strong Pobelter, like through easy lanes to gank and get ahead on, or like a strong ganking jungler. Like the advantages he had on Team Liquid, I don't really see on FlyQuest. Roaming isn't a weakness, but it also isn't a strength. It's a bit concerning when combined with his lack of carry ability that he can't generate leads in other lanes. Though, as a fun fact, he had the second most assists of any mid laner in North America last summer split with 95. So I gave Pobelter the 5th highest floor, the 9th highest ceiling for a base score of 4. I gave him a style fit of 0.5, a versatility of 1, carry ability of -0.5, roaming ability of 0.5, jungle synergy of 0, with no bonuses, which brought his total to 5, which wasn't quite high enough to eke out 8th place, which belongs to Huhi at 5.75 points. Now, Huhi's top 3 champions in 2018 were Orianna with 4 wins, 3 losses, and a 5.38 KDA, Rise with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a 7.2 KDA, and Talia with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a 6.0 KDA. As a medium to high resource and low focus mid laner, Huhi should fit fairly well into 100 Thieves, although they may struggle a bit with resource allocation, as most members of the team like a decent share of resources. A supportive style mid laner, Huhi can play a wide variety of champions, but struggles with some of the meta mages and assassins. So you'll see him whipping out some funky stuff like Aurelion Sol, or he can play Fiora mid. But sometimes just like the basic sort of meta picks he's not as strong on. He's not the greatest carry mid, but if he can find some synergy with Anda, Huhi can help get Hunter Thieves side lanes ahead for sure, as he is one of the better roaming mids in North America. As a fun fact, he had the second highest CS per minute at 9.5 and CS share post 15 at 28.5% of any mid laner in North America last summer. He also put down the most wards per minute at 0.6 of any mid in either North America or Europe last summer. So moving into 7th place, we have Phoenix at 6 points. Phoenix top 3 champions are Rise at 4 wins, 5 losses, and a 2.09 KDA. Cassiopeia at 4 wins, 1 loss, and a 6.88 KDA. And Zoe at 3 wins, 0 losses, and a 37 KDA. A high resource, high focus player, Phoenix should fit well on Echo Fox if he can find early game synergy with Rush. They have more supportive top lane and bot lane, so if Phoenix can find some carry synergy with Rush, I think they can definitely be a dynamic duo for Echo Fox. Phoenix is a strong mage player, but is known for having a very limited champion pool, which is definitely something that can be exploited at times. However, he is one of the better carries in North America, something which may be put to the test regularly this split, seeing as he's sort of the obvious carry of Echo Fox. I also subtracted a half a point as the whole Echo Fox Phoenix situation from last year, where he basically got cut last minute and wasn't given an opportunity to do anything else from the team he's currently on right now, can only serve to hurt Phoenix's morale and thus his level of play this year. Although, as a fun fact, he had the highest damage per minute at 656 and gold differential at 10 minutes of plus 274 of any mid in the North American LCS in Spring Split. So I gave Phoenix the 7th highest floor, the 5th highest ceiling for a base score of 5. I gave him a style fit of 1, versatility of -0.5, carry ability of 1, roaming ability of 0, jungle synergy of 0.5. I subtracted a half a point, as I mentioned before, which brought his total to 6, which was fairly standard, but not quite good enough for 6th place, which is Crown at 6.25 points. Now, Crown's top 3 champions in 2018 were Zoe, with 10 wins, 4 losses, and a 3.56 KDA. Vel'Koz at 7 wins, 4 losses, and a 2.58 KDA. And Malzahar at 5 wins, 4 losses, and a 2.47 KDA. Now, Crown is a low resource mid who prefers mages and supportive style champions. Crown is somewhat versatile, but may struggle on a team with weaker teammates and no obvious carry. Obviously, when he was on, the Samsung team that became Gen G, they had strong laners. Kuve definitely could be a top laner. Arula was one of the better laning bot lanes in the world, so he had strong lanes to play off of, which he doesn't really have to the same level in Optic Gaming. However, he should be one of the better roaming mids in North America, especially if he can develop synergy with Meteos or Dardoch. He's not an obvious match with either of the junglers, but there's no reason he shouldn't be able to find some good synergy with at least one of them, seeing as they're both quite good junglers, and he's been quite a good mid before. As a fun fact, he had the lowest CS share post 15 minutes at 23.9, and gold percentage at 22.6 of any mid in the LCK Spring Split in 2018. He didn't really play in the Summer Split, so I couldn't really get anything from there. Now, moving into 5th place, at 6.5 points, we have Froggen. Froggen didn't actually play in any major league, but he did play a tournament in European Masters, and his top champions there were Cassiopeia at 3 wins, 1 loss with a 6.4 KDA, Rise, 2 wins, 0 losses with a 34 KDA, and Orianna with 2 wins, 0 losses, and 24 KDA. Now, he is a high resource style player who prefers mages, but has a very wide champion pool. He may struggle on a team with no obvious supportive players, which is the type of team Golden Guardians has. Despite popular opinion, Froggen is a very skilled roaming mid laner, who can both get priority in lane and abuse it properly, so I think he's going to be one of the better roamers. He would probably have significantly more points, but a year away from pro play has made it hard to rate him much higher than average, so he's kind of lost some points everywhere because it's just hard to assume he's going to be quite as good as he was before. As a fun fact, he had the highest damage per minute at 720 and damage percentage at an insane 37.8 of any player in the North American LCS in summer 2017. So I gave Froggen the 6th highest floor, the 6th highest ceiling for base score of 5, a style fit of -0.5, versatility of 1, carry ability of 1, roams of 0.75, jungle synergy of 0, and extra 0, brought his total to 6.5, which was not quite good enough for 4th place, which was Niski at 7 points. Now, Niski's top 3 champions in 2018 were Zoe with 8 wins, 5 losses, and a 10.4 KDA. Rise with 6 wins, 6 losses, and a 2.92 KDA. And Cassiopeia with 5 wins, 2 losses, and a 6.78 KDA. Now, Niski is also a more supportive mid. He heavily prefers mage-style champions. He's definitely not a strong laner, but he should look to roam whenever he can get priority in lane. With 2 strong junglers in Sven and Blabber, Niski should be provided with a lot more safety in mid than a lot of the other mid laners in North America have. And he also placed the highest wards per minute at 0.54 of any mid laner in EU Summer Split. So I gave him the 4th highest floor, the 7th highest ceiling for a base score of 5.5. I gave him a style fit of 0.5, versatility of 0, carry ability of 0, roams of 0.75, jungle synergy of 0.5, and a bonus of 0.5 for, the fact that he has a sub in Golden Glue, which he should be able to, or Cloud9 should be able to utilize just to benefit themselves, which brought Niski's total to 7 points. Now, moving into 3rd place, we have the first of the top tier of mid laners with quite a few more points than everybody else, and we actually have Bjergsen at 12.5 points. Now, his top 3 champions in 2018 were Syndra with 5 wins and 4 losses with a 6.7 KDA, Rise with 4 wins and 4 losses with an 8.6 KDA, and Aurelia with 5 wins, 1 loss, and a 6.7 KDA. Now, Bjergsen is the most consistent mid in North America. He prefers a more supportive style than Power of Evil and Jensen, but apart from Jensen, is the most versatile mid by far in the LCS. He's able to play every single style and play most champions in those styles very well. He should enjoy a strong carry top and supportive jungler that TSM has, but might struggle to find synergy early on in the split. He's previously struggled with passivity, but his ability to generate lane pressure and strong side lanes should allow him to separate himself as a top roamer in North America. As a fun fact, he had the most kills with 67 and the second best gold differential, CS differential, and XP differential at 10 minutes at respective +92, +166, and +4.2 amongst mid laners from last summer split. So I gave Bjergsen the highest floor, the 3rd highest ceiling for a base score of 9. I gave him a style fit of 1, a versatility of 1.5, carry ability of 1, roaming ability of 1, jungle synergy of 0.5 with no extra, which brought his total to 12.5, which was not quite enough to eke out number 2, and that is Power of Evil on Counterlogic Gaming with 13 points. So Power of Evil's top 3 champions in 2018 were Victor with 4 wins, 2 losses, and a 5.00 KDA, Syndra with 2 wins, 4 losses, and a 3.85 KDA, and his signature Orianna with 1 win, 5 losses, and a 3.00 KDA. Now, Power of Evil is extremely good on DPS and assassin mids, but prefers to stray away from more supportive mid champions. He functions best as the primary focal point of his team, which is a role he will absolutely get to fill on CLG this year. Finding early game synergy with Wiggly and late game synergy with Stixxay will be his main pathways to success. Power of Evil is the premier carry mid in North America. If you're putting all your chips on one guy to lead you to victory, it should definitely be Power of Evil. He prefers to focus on extending his lane lead over roaming, but is certainly a capable roamer who's able to easily get priority. He had the highest XP differential at 10 with +290, and damage per minute with 612, and damage percentage with 34.2 of any player in North America, regardless of position, last summer split. So I decided to give Power of Evil a floor of 3, a ceiling of 1 for a base score of 9. So I actually gave him the highest ceiling of any mid laner in North America. I gave him a style fit of 2, versatility of 0.5, carry ability, I gave him the full 1.5, roams 0.5, jungle synergy 0.75, with no bonus, which brought his total up to 13 points, which is one of the highest totals we've had so far, but not quite first place, which actually belongs to Jensen at 13.5 points. Now, Jensen's top 3 champions in 2018 were Rise with 7 wins and 4 losses with a 7.85 KDA, Zillion with 6 wins, 2 losses, and a 12.86 KDA, and Oriana with 4 wins, 3 losses, and a 6.5 KDA. Now, Jensen is an extremely versatile player who can play almost any type of champion, who played best as the key piece on Cloud9 last year. He should appreciate the supportive styles of Impact and Xmithie, but will have to find resource synergy with Doublet, as they both appreciate a high level of resources. He prefers to stay in lane and continue to build a lead over his lane opponent, much like Power of Evil, but can generate priority, which can result in good roams. He can be relied on as a carry in almost every situation, and as a fun fact, he had the highest KDA with 6 when second place was all the way back at 4.6, and CS differential at 4.5 of any mid in North America last summer split. So I gave him the second highest floor, the second highest ceiling for a base score of 9. I gave him a style fit of 1.5, versatility of 2, carry ability of 1.25, roaming ability of 0.5, and a jungle synergy of 0.75 with no bonus, which brought his total to 13.5, which is high enough to be crowned our top performing mid laner of the upcoming North American spring split. Okay, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you next time when we cover the AD carries. Thanks for watching, everybody.